Okay, in this episode we're going to take a look at a few pamphlet issues so we can move forward and make good progress. We've taken a lot of time to this kind of setup, and this is another one of my versions that does not have perfect measurements and perfect position, but you have created a very carefully created perfect version of this document. Dotted lines are where they should be. Every panel is in the right position. And we think that that is important to do so we can move forward and not have to worry about those things. But from this point forward, as you are working on a panel, you may decide not to use the original text box that was here at all. So I may, as I start to work on this, take out the text box and begin to think of doing things like putting in a separate text box, for my title, and then placing a picture, and then maybe another text box for the other things I want to say, and the same would be true for all of the rest of the panel. So as you're working on these things, you don't have to be concerned with keeping a text box and fitting things into the text box. One thing that will help with is very often putting a picture in a carefully laid out text box can change the formatting on everything. But here's one of the other things that we will be talking about that we want to do. When you put a picture, so here's my panel 1. I got a title. Your title is going to be a little better than mine. When I'm preparing a picture, rather than putting it directly into the pamphlet, and this will work great whether you're putting it into a big text box, you decide to leave that there, that's okay, or you're doing what I'm doing in this example, removing the text box and putting in the components that I need. Get this picture looking the way it should look before you take it to the pamphlet. So I have already changed the layout of this so that I'll be able to move it around. I've put it as behind text. If I know that the measurements have to be a certain, let's say 3 inches here, then with lock aspect ratio, the other value changes automatically. Now I know if that's the perfect size for it to work in my pamphlet, I can just take this and drag it into my pamphlet. And then continue to work on the pamphlet with the other components that I want from there. Obviously this picture is a little small for the available space, but we're just doing the demo, the idea of getting all of this stuff set, changing anything about the aspect of the picture, then get it into the pamphlet. Don't do that stuff here, or minimize that stuff here. You may need to adjust things later, but if you're thinking about it ahead of time, you will save a lot of trouble.